This is the third rose to the east along the fence, and the first one that's blooming as we walk to the east. There's 18 positions for roses to grow here. The earliest ones start to bloom in early March, and the latest don't bloom until May. And so it's a wonderful succession of bloom. Tea roses tend to be among the earliest, and this is Florence Bauer's pink tea, looking very beautiful. Tea roses also repeat bloom. Many of the climbing roses and the old ramblers are once bloomers, but this rose generously blooms again and again. Another rose that blooms repeatedly is Barfield White Climber, which was found by the late lamented rosarian from Florida, John Starnes. He said that it grew like kudzu for him, and it does that for us as well, really. It has small white flowers that have kind of an anise, spicy scent to them. It will just be covered in these little white flowers in another week or two. It is thornless, has really no disease at all, and you can see how vigorous it is. It covers 2 full sections of fence, 2.5, and I think would go further if we let it. The next rose is Dr. Rouge, and yet another tea rose. The first time I saw this climbing tea in Joyce DeMitz's garden, I simply fell in love. It looked like a cactus dahlia with how quilled the petals were. I was thrilled to be able to get a plant of it to put here. This is not a found rose. We purchased this from Vintage Gardens, but it's certainly lovely, and like tea roses do, this one will repeat as well. It's followed by Peggy Martin. Like John Starnes' Barfield White Climber, this has small flowers in great clusters. One of the things that it will do is have panicles hanging down, so there will just be dripping columns of roses blooming. No fragrance really, but again a very healthy rose, and one that will bloom repeatedly and cover just about as much room as you let it have. This is the first once bloomer that we've looked at. This is a species rose, and it is probably a Rosa brunonii. This rose was given to us by Tom Liggett. It is budded. He says that it's a true climbing Lady Hillingdon, and looking forward to seeing just how big it is. Love the yellow flowers of Lady Hillingdon. The next rose is spectacular. It's Ramona. I think we looked at it previously on the fence, and here it is, pruned by Stephen Scaniello, and in fact it covers 3 full panels. Told that this rose was found just in a giant pile of a rose, was thought to be complicata when it was first collected. Didn't realize it was Ramona till we got it growing here and had a chance to study it. The car wash rose blooms a little bit later, but I'm going to walk in so you can see a bloom. Apricot. Love apricot roses. There it is. And as I was mentioning before, this was thought to be a once bloomer. It was collected by a San Andreas car wash, but once it got up here and got enough water and got fertilized and got pruned and deadheaded and got some love, we discovered that this rose blooms again and again. No idea what it is, but it's a lovely thing. This is one of our later bloomers, Easley's Golden Rambler. Beginning to see some color on the buds. This rose looked terrible this fall and into the winter, but come spring you get new growth and fresh new foliage and flowers. Roses are an incredible thing. The last one I'm going to stop and feature here is Belle of Portugal, Belle Portuguese, a hybrid gigantea. I've been told that it kind of looks like wadded up hankies or Kleenex or tissues on the plant. I simply love how they hang down, how romantic they are, how when they're overhead they just seem to drip at you. And a hybrid gigantea can indeed be gigantic. This one also covers a good 3 panels of fence, and we cut it back quite a bit, took out quite a bit of old. An issue for these fence roses is making sure you can walk past them, as I'm doing right now. And there is a sidewalk to the street below, and we need for the branches not to poke through and threaten anybody. And so we've had volunteers work extremely hard over the years to keep these roses trained and healthy. And I'm hopeful we can rebuild a volunteer corps to do that, because I think that these fence roses are a great gift to what is still a rather gritty neighborhood. This section is gentrifying, but there's housing projects to the west. People walk along this sidewalk to take the bus, go shopping, get where they need to go. And I think it's lovely to have them have roses growing on the fence above them and with petals sprinkling the sidewalk that they walk upon.